Hello and welcome to a bumper packed edition of Allotment Diaries with me, Rachel from I Planted That. A little bit later I'll be heading out to Sissinghurst Garden in Kent to have a look at their wildlife friendly vegetable garden to get some ideas to hopefully incorporate into my allotment. The heritage seed order arrived, so I'll be sharing with you what came through and what I'll be growing and when. In just a couple of months, I'll be starting sowing the beans, and now is a great time to prepare your ground. So I'll be showing you what you need to do now. But first, it's time for breakfast. There's always been a long tradition of bartering between gardeners, and allotments are no different. If you've got too much of something, you give it away, and often you'll receive something in return. Chard happily self-seeds itself all around my allotment. So when my neighbour asked if she could possibly pick some for her hens, of course I said yes. And guess what? I received a couple of eggs as a thank you. I used them for the first cook-up of the year to make a quick omelette with some parsley from the greenhouse. Here's a little fun fact for you that I only recently learnt. You should never wash eggs because they have a natural coating called bloom or cuticle. And washing it can remove that, which then causes bacteria to get into the porous shell. Really good. I might not keep livestock on my allotment, but I'm always keen to encourage beneficial wildlife. So I visited Sissinghurst Castle in Kent earlier in the month, where they've made their vegetable garden a wildlife haven. I love the habitats they've created, like this herbernaculum for amphibians and reptiles to shelter from the winter weather, who in turn will eat the slugs. So it's a win-win. They've also created a pond, which amongst other things will attract birds that will then eat pests like aphids. I definitely want to add one of these to my allotment. They also grow wildflowers here to encourage pollinators, and there's bug hotels as well. While there, I also took a look at what they're currently growing, and I was pleased to see some familiar allotment basics that I grow on my allotment too. I also made a note of things that I want to try this year, like the radicchio. It's not something I've grown before, but I absolutely love it in winter salads with blue cheese, walnuts, and honey and orange dressing. It's very expensive in shops, but at around £1.50 for a packet of seeds, I'm definitely going to give it a go this year. I also made a note to myself not to miss the boat on sowing and planting out members of the brassica family, like purple sprouting broccoli, cabbages, kales. I usually have them grown in the winter, but just due to various things that happened last year, I missed planting out the seedlings. You may remember last month I made a special order from the Heritage Seed Library. They take care of heirloom varieties that have been saved over generations and are no longer available to buy. And as a member of Garden Organic, I get to choose 6 packs each year. And this year I ordered a tomato called Potato Leaf White, pumpkin called Lady Godiva, so called not anything to do with Coventry, but because the seeds don't have husk, so are naked, making them ideal for roasting and eating. I got a fancy named Mange 2P, a perennial onion called Baton that grows in clumps, producing purple tinged spring onion-like onions. I've not been able to grow spring onions, so I'm hoping this is going to be a good one for me. A melon whose skin has a similar appearance to that of a nutmeg, hence its name, and a mix of heritage lettuces. I love that they come with these tasting notes as well, so you could submit them to the Heritage Seed Library at the end of the season. It's no surprise there's not been any planting or sowing in today's episode, because winter is a time when most plants are dormant or they're not putting any growth on. But now is the time to start preparing the ground for those hungry vegetables that we're going to be planting in the spring, like runner beans, French beans, Allotment beans, and we can do this by making a compost trench. So as the name suggests, it's a trench filled with fresh compost. It's up to you how long or how wide you make it, but you want to dig it about 40 to 60 centimetres deep. Then over the next few weeks, I'll fill it up with vegetable scraps from the kitchen, along with shredded paper, leaves, any grass clippings, and then when it's almost full, I'll recover with soil and leave it for the next few months before planting the runner beans. Then it's going to rot down, add loads of goodness, feed those beans and also retain water. Lovely to have your company today. Thank you for joining me for this session of Allotment Diaries. I hope you have a great gardening week. Next month, please join me where I'll be showing you the vegetables that I sow, the plants as well, that are quite tender, but they also need a really long growing season. So I'll show you how to take care of them. Also, hopefully by next time, my dahlia order will arrive, and I'll show you how to keep them safe until they can be planted in the spring. Until then, take care, and I will see you next time.